For stories to start your morning, we're getting more details about Antonio Brown's foot injury. Turns out he's sidelined with frostbitten feet. This was reportedly caused by a cryotherapy session. They tell you to wear socks. He obviously did not wear socks. You frostbite your feet. See, have you ever seen or heard of something like this happening to a player before?
Yeah, we're a bunch of idiots and everything. We do dumb stuff, disregard. Don't get in the hot tub without what we're going to do it. Disregard what the rules are. Yes, I burned my hamstring with the ice bag on it. Said don't leave it on there more than 15 minutes.
What'd
20
you do?
at max. Left it on there, fell asleep. Little nerve went down my right leg. My foot almost went numb and everything, but I burned my skin. So you look at when I'm laying down, face down, left hamstring, like a mocha chocolate. Man, yeah. The right one is definitely double dip chocolate.
Jenna, why are you wearing that Band-Aid today and yesterday?
There's a difference.
Jenna, who's been judging AB all morning, was trying to do a 1-mile bear crawl. Wasn't wearing.
Say that again.
Jenna, who's been judging Antonio Brown all morning, but Jenna fashions herself professional workout warrior. She even gets paid money to train people.
Now, Nick,
was not wearing the proper equipment.
Can you do 5 yards of bear crawl?
Of course, but I would wear the proper equipment. Jenna was trying to do a mile. She cut up her whole hand.
But they told me to wear gloves, and I wore gloves.
Okay, Jenna, of course, I'm sure it's not your fault, just like it wasn't AB's fault. But
wear
the point
socks,
is,
man.
sometimes guys, in trying to get better, they wear the wrong equipment.
We're going to put you in one of them cryo tanks with your mouth open.
Not interested.
I would love to do that, Trey. 15th overall pick in former
Nick, too. Not Nick with the
Ohio State quarterback Dwayne Haskins will see his first live NFL game action tonight when Washington faces off against the Browns. See, what do you want to see out of Dwayne Haskins?
What you don't want to see, Jenna, is the question, and that's interceptions. That's taking too long to deliver the ball in the pocket. Even if he doesn't complete above 50% of his passes, you want to see the mechanics. Does he understand the offense? Does the offense run like a professional quarterback is running it? Because Case is his backup. Colt McCoy's his backup. I'm sure he's been schooled because these guys know they're just a place marker until he's ready. So don't make the big mistakes trying to make big plays. Get the team in and out of the huddle. 3-step drop. Get it out your hand. 5-step drop. Get it out your hand. Don't get sacked, bruh. Make the Buckeyes proud. Let's go.
There's only a few teams where, from a viewership perspective, the preseason's really interesting to me. And those are teams that have quarterback battles or young quarterbacks. So I want to watch Washington. I want to watch Miami. Obviously, Arizona, the Giants.
Yeah, got to see it.
Places where we're going to see, can Haskins play well enough over this next month that he is the week 1 starter? Or is he going to have to wait until the 2nd or 3rd month of the season to get in there? His journey towards that starting job starts tonight.
All right, on to the NBA now. So we haven't heard too much from Kevin Durant since he walked off the court in Game 5 of the Finals with a torn Achilles. Since then, he signed with the Nets and has begun his rehab. Yesterday, in an interview with Chris Haynes, KD was asked if the Warriors were to blame for his injury. Said, hell no, how can you blame the Warriors? No, I heard the Warriors pressured me into getting back. Nobody never said a word to me during rehab as I was coming back. It is basketball. Expletive happens. Nobody was responsible for it. It was just the game. We just need to move on from that expletive because I'm going to be back playing. Nick, what do you think about what KD had to say?
I want to give Kevin Durant credit for taking the high road, for not rehashing old stuff. If he had given a different answer, it would have started a totally different news cycle that he would have had to answer for the next time he spoke to the media.
Absolutely.
And maybe repeatedly. And so I think he did the smart thing here. And I think it was the right thing by an organization that for 3 years, for the better part of 3 years, tried to always do the right thing by Kevin Durant. Now, I do not believe him. I do not think this is the honest answer. And in fact, I know he was pressured when the owner says during the Western Conference Finals he'll be back for the NBA Finals.
Maybe Kevin Durant looks at it as if it wasn't pressure, because maybe Kevin Durant, his goal was the same, and maybe the information that the owner was talking about, Kevin doesn't feel like it pressured him.
Okay.
Like maybe Kevin thought Game 5 was always the game he was going to come back.
Well, he said that Game 5 was the game I was always going to come back. But then Steve Kerr and the injury report, they left the door open to him coming back in Game 2, and then it was released by somebody to reliable reporters, I think Chris Haynes, they expect him back in Game 3. KD says, I was always targeting Game 5. But throughout this interview, and credit to Chris Haynes, who's done a great job covering this league over the last few years, but particularly this year, for getting a sit-down at Kevin Durant's house in Malibu to get this. But KD also said he didn't make his decision to go to the Nets until the morning of June 30th, that he and Kyrie Irving had not discussed playing together, that it was, yeah, they're friends and it's a happy coincidence. There are a lot of things said in this article that I do not believe to be the accurate history, but I am not criticizing Kevin Durant for presenting it. And when it comes to the injury front, I think it was the smart move to not worry about something you can't fix in the past.
Yeah, the thing that I have and the issue that I have was the information that I was gathering. A person that's tore both of his calves, a person that knew it was on the board. If I didn't get it cleared up, if I didn't get that calf cleaned up, that my Achilles would be jeopardized. So for me, I don't have a problem with Kevin Durant playing. I don't have a problem with an athlete pushing himself. My biggest problem happens to be with the information. Golden State said he was not jeopardizing his Achilles by going out there and playing on a pulled calf. And that was not the truth. Obviously, he goes into the game and gets hurt early in the game. So the information that they were moving forward with, there was better information. So I can understand Kevin saying, I would have pushed myself regardless, knowing that it was going to be the finals and everything. I can understand that. I expect him to do that. I would have done that. And afterwards, I would be doing the same thing with Kevin Durant. I would be saying the same thing. Just because the owner said Kevin Durant will be coming back does not mean that Kevin Durant felt the pressure. Now, do I accept what the owner did? No, because there was a better way to do it. He didn't have to say that. And the information with the coaching staff saying that they weren't jeopardizing his Achilles and continuing staying to that messaging point, I know that that wasn't accurate. But a great athlete, an average athlete, any athlete at that level is going to try to come back and push themselves to get on the court.
All right, so let's spin this forward now to next season, whether or not we see KD, who knows. When we do actually see the return of Kevin Durant on the basketball court, which version of him are we going to see? Is it going to be the same one, do we think, that we last saw?
Sorry to interrupt. It'll be a version we've never seen before. Now, it doesn't mean he won't be a great player. It doesn't mean he won't one day once again be an MVP candidate. But if we see him at all this year, and in this article he's asked about it and he says, I don't know, like I'm working, essentially, gives, I think, the right answer on that. This year, we're not going to see anything close to old Kevin Durant. And I would imagine the following season, we're not going to. The last time we saw Kevin Durant, he was giving you, what was it, 41, 7 and 7 over the last 6 games of the playoffs?
Yeah, but that's in the playoffs. What the intensity they're going to play at in the regular season. Will we see the Kevin Durant that played in the regular season?
Yeah, so I
think it's a fair question.
I don't think he is. He was right there to become the best player in basketball. I think now the mountain he has to climb is, can I be a top 5 player? I think that is, and I don't think that's an indictment on him, but this is, aside from a spinal cord injury, this is the worst injury a basketball player can suffer, even in 2019.
If you're trying to rely on your athletic ability. I totally disagree with Nick. And the reason why, modern technology, I talked to my doctor. My doctor said there is no reason Kevin Durant in 6 months, 6.5 months, won't be 100%. And the reason why I don't believe it, not only the technology, not only the stretching and the way they get the athletes up and moving them a lot quicker now, there's been no athlete, there's been no basketball player that is a pure basketball player as Kevin Durant. You can't compare him to Dominique Wilkins. You can't compare him to Rudy Gay. You can't compare him to Kobe Bryant. He's a better scorer of basketball than Kobe. Yeah, Kobe, his Achilles was going to hurt him the way he played offense. The way he went at it recklessly, it's going to hurt him. But as a jump shooter, as a scoring machine, his Achilles and being tightening of that Achilles, to me, is not going to limit him. And I do believe we will see a version of Kevin Durant that we are very familiar with and used to seeing. I do believe he will be a top player again, based on the medical, based on how he plays the game, and We've never had a jump shooting guy like him injure his Achilles.
Right.
His Achilles injury doesn't affect his ability to be able to shoot it, and him being at 7 foot, he can still shoot over top of a guy's head. So I believe the Kevin Durant that we're going to see, the basketball world, is one they're going to be very familiar with.
You just made a lot of Brooklyn Nets fans very happy. Take a break. Big night for Kyler Murray tonight. What should we look for from him in his NFL preseason debut? That's next on First Things First.
If there's one person over in